Hey guys, welcome to Unit 7, Part 4. We're going to start on the section on personality. And personality is just simply the characteristics that make up an individual, either the way they think, the way they feel, even the way they act. And how that person can just adapt to the world. Psychologists who study personality mainly just focus on enduring traits and qualities that we develop over time. So first we have Freud's psychodynamic perspective, which focuses primarily on the unconscious, so beyond our awareness. This theory is proposed that even a child's sexuality and unconscious motivates our personality, versus other theories that we will talk about shortly. But your early childhood experiences play a lot of what makes up who you are. So again, here is Freud, known as the father of psychodynamic approach. Things that happen early in life influence how we think, feel, and behave. Freud and psychoanalysis with sex drive, it's the main determinant of a personality development. Freud places stronger biological emphasis than on sociocultural, humanistic, or social cognitive theories. We have physical symptoms without physical causes. If we're overdetermined, we can have multiple unconscious causes, which we'll talk about later. We do have the iceberg analogy, which I'll show you guys a picture on the next slide. Which here we have the conscious being the part above the water and the unconscious below. And we have the superego, the ego, and the id underneath mainly. But two of them do pop above. So the id, think about it, is the I, our instincts, and the reservoir for our energy. This also deals with our pleasure principle. If someone's bugging you and annoying you, you might get a lot of pleasure from punching. Ego thinks about the demands of reality. And that's where we get our reality principle, which is just kind of your internal referee, like, should I do this? Should I not? Choosing a behavior because it's the right thing to do instead of what you really want to do. And then superego, the above I, is our moral branch, our conscious. It can make you feel good or bad. But there can always, there sometimes can be conflict. So like with the id and the superego, since they're both the ones above, you can see that there's money in a wallet on the ground. Do you turn it in? Or you say, there's $300 in this wallet and, I'm really close to not being able to pay rent in college. Do I keep it? So there can be conflict. Next, we have our defense mechanisms, and those do help us deal with our conflicts between the id, ego, and superego, which could result in anxiety. Defense mechanisms help reduce anxiety, and they're not necessarily unhealthy. And our first one is repression, and that is just banishes anxiety-arousing thoughts from your unconsciousness. The other ones are repression, rationalization, displacement, sublimation, projection, reaction formation, denial, and regression. And you guys will have to know these. So here is just a summary of all of them. Again, repression, pushing unacceptable impulses out of our awareness. So forgetting details from a traumatic event. This one I did basically almost everything before 3rd grade. I have pushed out of my brain. I remember reading Cloudy of a Chance with Meatballs in 2nd grade. I remember having a pajama sleepover in the school in 1st grade, and I remember making slime in kindergarten, but besides that, there's not a whole lot I remember. Rationalization replaces less acceptable motives with a more acceptable one. Displacement, feeling from unacceptable to more acceptable, so it just shifts your feeling from one that's a little bit better. Which, you know, if you try to think more positively or find that one positive, it could help change your mood. Sublimation replaces an unacceptable impulse with a socially acceptable one. Like if you have aggression, which tends to be a socially unacceptable feeling, you can put it towards something socially acceptable like sports or running. If you really like violence, become a soldier or play video games instead of going around beating everyone up. Projection. Cheating. You accuse your significant other of cheating or wanting to cheat, but you're putting the things that you did onto someone else. We see this a lot in schools now where students aren't taking ownership of their own actions. So when people say, hey, put your phones away. Oh, it's my mom. She needed X, Y, and Z. If she really needed you, she would call the front office. Or if you were where you were supposed to be, you wouldn't be in trouble. Reaction formation transforms an unacceptable motive to the opposite. So a really big example is looking at pornography. You will then become a vocal advocate against it. Denial, refusing to acknowledge anxiety-producing realities. We do see this a lot with people who pass. We tend to believe for a while that they didn't. You can even see it where if you're on a SWAT team or a bomb squad, you might not worry about your safety all the time because you're like, hey, I'm the one that, goes and rushes in all the time. And then we have regression, which we retreat to a more infantile stage and an earlier developmental period. So you seek your parents. You might, go to your childhood bedroom for comfort, or you might just find like childlike characteristics. So, instead of, owning up to things, you might just, go color or, want a glass of chocolate milk. Who knows? So the next 2 slides are the defense mechanisms again and other examples that I think are really helpful for you guys to kind of understand this. But that's pretty much all we have for this part of our personality unit. We'll go into more in the next one. But do know that these defense mechanisms are helpful to our well-being psychologically. But I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.